Hi, welcome to this edition of TechClarity TV. I'm Michelle Boucher, the Vice President of Engineering Software Research at TechClarity, where we make the business value of technology clear. Today I'd like to talk to you about consolidating CAD, specifically how aerospace and defense companies can contain costs by consolidating on a single CAD platform. I'd like to share some highlights of some research that we recently published. The report goes through some of the benefits, specifically cost savings, that companies can achieve by consolidating on a single CAD platform. And aerospace and defense companies can achieve these savings both from an IT perspective as well as by enabling some best practices for design. Through the process of this research, I spoke to several A&D companies, and they were extremely helpful in helping me better understand how consolidating CAD has really helped their business and made a big impact. And I'd like to share some of those stories with you. The first question is, why consolidate? I spoke with Northrop Grumman about this, and they actually had a number of initiatives to improve their capabilities, their performance, and affordability. One of those initiatives was standardizing their engineering tools. And the reason for this was that they found that there was a lot of cost drivers related to their multi-CAD environment. And of those drivers, some of them were just the support and infrastructure costs of managing all the different CAD platforms, as well as managing all the different release cycles for all the different CAD products that they had and upgrading with every release, migrating all the CAD data. It was very time intensive and cost more. But they also found that this multi-CAD environment was impeding their design anywhere strategy because engineers were limited to just the CAD tools that they knew, as well as it made it much harder to reuse CAD data. And then when engineers did need to collaborate and share multi-CAD data, it would have to go through a translation, and that could introduce some errors in some cases, and it just added to the complexity of sharing data. So they decided to consolidate their CAD. This actually helped them a lot. They improved their efficiency and lowered the cost, and as a result found that they were much more competitive. This is pretty consistent with some other research that TechClarity has done. We actually found that consolidating on a single CAD platform can reduce your cost by up to 23%. So there's clearly a lot of cost benefits as well as strategic benefits from consolidating. We've also found actually that there can even be some business risk associated with a multi-CAD environment. And just to share a story from the news, the Airbus A380 was developed using different CAD tools. And because of some of the incompatibilities across the tools, their calculations for their wiring was off. And then when they went to assemble the plane together, they discovered that the cabling was too short. And this resulted in a $6 billion loss in profitability. Consolidating on a single CAD platform may not actually be feasible. You may need to work with some suppliers or customers that are using a different CAD tool. And in those cases, a CAD tool that works very well with visualization data could be an option to help with that. And visualization formats are formats that you can work with the CAD data, but you don't actually need access to the original native CAD application. And another really nice thing about them is that they don't strip the intelligence that was embedded in the CAD file the way it would if you were to translate to an IGES or STEP file. So I'd like to share a story of a company that's been very successful with visualization data. I spoke with ATK, and they were working with a major customer who used a different CAD tool than they did. And the customer asked ATK to translate all of their CAD data into the native format that this customer was using. And this took ATK quite a bit of time to do that translation. But then the models were so big and it just took so long to work with those files that their customer found that it actually took them several weeks just to manipulate and get those models into a usable state. So ATK, knowing that it was taking them a long time and their customer a long time to work with the translated data, they took a look at the visualization data and they showed their customer some of the benefits of working with visualization data. And the files were so lightweight and so much easier to work with. Their customer found that process that took several weeks was reduced to a few hours. This was a phenomenal improvement, and the customer eventually agreed that they would accept this visualization data as a design deliverable. I'd like to end with just a few key takeaways. There's many advantages to consolidating on a single CAD platform. There's IT savings from a cost perspective, as well as strategic benefits. Collaboration is one of them. Engineers have a much easier time sharing data if everybody's using the same CAD tool. Another area where collaboration is a little bit easier is staffing flexibility. If you've got a project that's running late and you need to put more people on it, if you're all using the same CAD tool, that's much easier to do, and people can just pick up and start working together. Reuse is another area. Just as a few examples, it obviously saves engineering time because they don't need to go back and redesign something. But there's also much broader benefits too. Just for example, if the part's already been tested and validated, it's less testing. You can reuse tooling. You don't have to go through a validation process to recertify for compliance. It even can save inventory carrying costs if you're reusing the same part numbers. So lots of different benefits there. Then as an A&D company, there's some things that you should consider in a CAD tool that you select that is going to help enable you to be more successful and support specific design processes for A&D companies. Composites are very important to A&D companies, or lightweight materials. So a CAD tool that can manage those and help you with design and manufacture those would be very important. The amount of software and electronics in A&D products now are very important. So having the ability to take a look at the whole system level view is very important. In addition to being able to do some simulations that go across engineering disciplines. And early validation of the design throughout the development process is very important. So really good integration with CAD and CAE tools would be another important criteria. We want to also be able to connect the entire team and the whole enterprise. Everybody's focused on the product. So enterprise tools such as PLM and integration between the CAD and the PLM tools would be very important and helpful. So with that, I thank you for your time and attention. I hope you gained something from this short broadcast. I'd love to continue the conversation. You can reach me on our website, on our blog, or via Facebook or Twitter. You can also download a report. It's free, and you can find the link to it on our website. And thank you again.